Hello again, I'm the Final Knight Errant, and welcome back to our NHL 19 franchise mode, where the Quebec Nordiques have come back to the NHL, and after the first year, made the playoffs, won that lottery, and are about to get a very nice draft pick. We're going to get to that in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the pre-scouting, pre-planning that I've already done to kind of quicken this process. If you want to see our full process of how we go through determining who we're going to be drafting, which kind of trades we're going to be targeting and making in the draft, make sure you check out our live streams on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights on Twitch at The Final Knight Errant. I'll start off with a draft board and kind of show you what's going on here. Our projected draft picks, we got the number 1 overall pick here because we won the lottery off of the Ottawa Senators pick, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, the scouts recommending we take Alex Newhook, but we're not going to take Alex Newhook. We're taking Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes is going to go number 1 overall, and he's going to play on the team next year. We're also going to get another pick in the first round, and we have 2 other picks in the second, 2 picks in the third, a garbage pick in the fourth, and a garbage pick in the seventh. We're looking to move probably all 4 of these picks here, the thirds and the fourths and the seventh. And we're looking at moving up the 2 second picks to try to maximize our ability to get specific players. Now, I've already gone through and decided who I want to target in this draft, and that's going to be in the draft class, but we're going to get to that in a second. First, I'm going to show you our contract situation so you have an idea of what we're working with. Right now, our cap space is $10.7 million. If this is our main squad right now, the one we just went through the first round of the playoffs with. As you can see, there is not a lot of people who we need to bring back right away, which is going to be great for our cap situation. And once we start getting down here, Tyler Ennis and Lindbergh, these guys are all in the AHL. I'm going to go ahead and probably dump both of these guys, bring them back if we have to, but I'm not going to worry about trying to sign them right away. I'm not overly concerned if they decide not to come back. The one we do have down here that we're probably going to re-sign is Stevenson. And Stevenson is kind of a hit or miss kind of player, but I think at this point he's our best bet for the way we want to grow the team and the direction we're going. One of the people that I know automatically right off the bat, or 2 people right off the bat that I can show you that we're going to be looking to offload in the draft are Riley Nash. 30 years old. He's got 2 years left on his $2.75 million contract. He's playing 4th line minutes, 3rd line at best. $2.7 million is a lot. I'd like to move that if I can. If we can't move Riley Nash, I'm okay with that. I'll play him as a depth guy if we have to and just pay him lots of money to be down there and ready. But for now, I'd like to try to move him if we can. 2.7 might be a bit much to try to move. It's going to be interesting to see if anybody will take him. The other one we're going to try to offload here is Sevier. Sevier did a real good job for us this year filling in when our 3rd line right winger got hurt, and he was hurt a lot. So he put a lot of work in, but just based on the other players on the team, players that I need to get going, need to get some more time on the ice like Lazar, I'd like to see Sevier possibly go. $1.2 million shouldn't be too difficult to move, but we're going to find out just how difficult that is in the draft here. And then the other thing I want to do is offload Robin Lehner. Robin Lehner really choked for us at the end of last year. He gave up 3 goals in the first period twice within about a week span or so, and really put us in a bad situation. So we're going to go ahead and move on from Lehner and go with Biddington. We're going to go ahead and give this kid a shot as our main goalie next year, and we will back him up with Olmark from down here. That should be fine. Olmark, he had a pretty decent year down in the AHL against weaker opponents, and if we take a look, his skills aren't that bad. I think we should be in all right shape to possibly make a wild card spot if we're lucky this next year, and continue to improve as Remy Stallcup here, our elite overall, our high elite overall goalie, continues to grow, and hopefully he will grow real well. Take a look at those games played versus wins. He played 20 games, won 16 of them. Absolutely sick. So if he can do something like that for a full year down there as the lead, as the main starting goalie, he's going to get a nice little bump, maybe get up to 78, be ready to be a backup the year after that, and hopefully the year after that take on the starting role. So we're looking at, let's see, this would be year 2 for him to be the main guy down in the AHL, year 3 be the backup in the NHL, year 4 be the main guy, year 5 be the main guy at worst. Hopefully that'll be the trajectory. If we have him even as the main guy as year 6, I'll be happy with that. Remy Stallcup as the number 1 guy here is going to be the future of this team. So we need to get him growing, and in order to do that, we need to get Ullmark out of the way so that Remy gets more games under his belt and more growth more quickly. All right, so over in the system here, Marco, Dano, Gauntz, these guys are kind of on the bubble. I think these guys are going to be probably our depth guys next year, based on what I'm seeing. I'm going to bring Riley Tuft. Riley Tuft is coming up. He's got great stats for where he's at, and he's ready to play. He's 4th line forward. I'm going to play him on the 4th line next year. All right, so there is some of the things I'm looking at in terms of who I want to move and why I want to move them. Just a recap: Nash, Sevier, Lehner, all on the trading block. Gauntz, Dano, looking to potentially be depth guys, bringing in Hughes, number 1 overall, having him play right off the bat on that 3rd line with Brock McGinn and our sniper right winger who was hurt a lot this year. And if he continues to get hurt, that's going to give Dano an opportunity to get more ice time. So I'm okay with Dano being the depth guy here on the right wing. So with that all being said, we know what our draft pick numbers are, and we know what we're looking to bring in. Let's go ahead and jump right into the draft, and we'll get going here. All right, let's go. So the first pick is super easy, but we know what that's going to be. It will default to Jack Hughes. I'm not going to worry about it. The first thing I want to do is try to offload Lehner. So what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way down here to the 15th pick, which is Dallas, which is great. It's over in the West. Let's go ahead and select Dallas. All right, let's go ahead and just give it a shot and see if we can pick him up. Yep, easy peasy. All right, so we've got that set. We got the 15th pick, which is good because that means all we have to do is spend a little bit to move up the 22nd to the 20th now. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's just get that out of the way. Might be able to see if we can add in a 4th here. Nope. Throw in the 7th. There we go. So we got it for a 4th and a 7th. Not awful. Again, there was nobody down at 4 and 7 we cared about. Next up is the 54th pick. We need to try to move up to the 35th. So let's go ahead and try to make that happen. 35th pick is going to be in the 2nd round. That's 33, 34, 35. New York. New York is not willing to give up the 35th pick, so this is going to take a little finagling. I might be able to get a 4th here. Okay, let's take the 4th off. Even though it's quite close. Okay, so we're getting there. What if we threw in Sevier on this pick? See if they want him. They do. We can offload Sevier right here. Or, yeah, you know what? Let's offload Sevier right here. We're going to have to bring somebody back. Again, it's not that big a deal. We're going to find somebody who is got 1 year left. Yeah, no trade value, like Horton right here. Yeah, we could take Horton and then just let him go to free agency. That should help them out tremendously. Trade accepted. Okay, so we've got that taken care of. The next pick we need is the 57th, so we're going to go ahead and move the 63rd to a little bit closer, and then that'll leave us with one last pick here, the 80th overall pick, which there is a player we could go with for that. So if we could straight up trade the 63rd for the 57th, then that might work. Let's go down to the 57th pick. All right, Detroit. They do want to give it up. It's a lot closer to our pick. It's not that far off. Straight up rejected. What else could we potentially do? I don't want to give up the 3rd. Unless we absolutely have to. Maybe a 7th from next year. They're just not interested. Seems stupid. 5th. There we go. We got it. We forced it through. So that lets us at least keep the 80th pick, which I can use on a medium elite player that is questionable at best. So now I think we've got everything we need. All right, let's sim to these picks and get these out of the way. All right. First pick here is going to be York. There's York. Bang, done. Okay. Sim options. Sim to user pick. Okay, this should be Stevenson. Here he is. Grab Stevenson. 2 defensemen. Next up, we're going to pick up Noonan. Yep, should be available. There he is. Grab Noonan, left winger. And user pick. This is where we're going to grab Spalling, right winger. So we end up picking a center, a right wing, a left wing, 2 defensemen in this draft. It's also going to give us an option to pick up a third or a 6th player right here in the 3rd round. Yep, he should be available. DeSalvatore, there he is. We're going to take DeSalvatore as our final pick. Quick look at DeSalvatore if it'll let us. It doesn't give us any option to look at what he had going on. I should have done it beforehand, but oh well. And that should do it. That's everything we have through our picks in this draft. Just a quick recap of who we selected. That's Hughes, York, Stevenson, Noonan, Spalling, and DeSalvatore, all through the 3rd round. Everything else is everybody else's problem. Let's get out of there. We'll sim to the re-sign phase. I will go ahead and take care of all the re-signing, and I will be back in just a minute to show you guys free agency. All right, all my contracts have been tendered. Those that have accepted have accepted. We've got rid of the people that we were going to get rid of. Now let's take a look at free agency to see if there might be somebody we can bring in to make a splash, see if we can improve on last year. Okay, not a whole lot here to write home about. Yeah, not a whole lot here to write home about at all. Yes. A lot of defensemen, but nobody that we're really looking at who's going to be that top-line defenseman we were hoping for, which is fine. We didn't really need a whole lot of space here for bringing somebody in as a free agent this year with our first overall draft pick, kind of filling in a need that we had on that 3rd line as a center. So I think we're okay without bringing any of these guys in. Let's take a look at the goalies. Okay, Holtby or Vasilevsky. Whew. Vasilevsky there on an RFA. We could try to steal him away from Tampa Bay. Wouldn't that be something? All right, well, there's that. And then you've got Holtby, who wants a 7-year deal, who's 29 years old. How much does Vasilevsky want? He wants 7.6. Let's take a look real quick and see how much money Tampa Bay has. Now, we do have Remy Stalcup, who's not going to be ready for a couple more years, but wouldn't be, terrible to try to steal away one of the best goalies in the league from somebody in our conference. Tampa Bay. They only have $5 million in cap space. They cannot meet his demand right now. That seems really poor. Seems like a real poor situation for Tampa Bay to be in. Wow. That's really poor management right there. All skaters. Who do they have locked up? Stamkos, Kucherov. There's nobody down here they're waiting on either. Adam Ernie. They extended all these guys. Interesting. So they just ran out of cap. And the question is, are they going to try to move somebody? They brought in Point instead. Braden Point was on the RFA last year, didn't play because they couldn't get a deal done. And they didn't have enough this year to bring back Vasilevsky now. So, yeah, I think we might try to go after this. If we go after Vasilevsky now, that gives Remy Stalcup plenty of time to grow to where he needs to grow. And then we'll be able to offload Vasilevsky if we need to for a major draft pick. Because he'll be young enough with enough trade value where that would be worth it. And we've definitely got the cap to make this happen. So the question now becomes, since we don't have an extra first-round draft pick, are we willing to give up our first, second, and third? Because that's what it's going to take. Yeah, this year's first, second, and third-year picks pretty much says we're not getting anybody new this year. And we're going to have to go with what we've got in the system to grow. So what we're looking at in the system is polling. Yeah, let's take a look here. Let's see here. Centers. We're looking at polling. We're looking at Denisenko. We're looking at Wallstrom, Spalling. These guys are going to have to grow. Yeah, Salvatore, Noonan. These guys are all going to have to be the future of the team. We're not going to be able to bring in anybody this year. That means scouting this year isn't going to be that big a deal since we're not going to have any draft picks. Can we actually give up an entire year's worth of draft picks to bring in an elite goalie and get away with it? That seems like a real stretch. Our defense really needs help. The question is Miller, Christopher, Stevenson, and York going to be enough to get us through over that hump? It's tough. I don't know. Christopher's really our only elite prospect. He's a 70 overall at 19. I'd like to see that to be a 72 at the very least, but didn't quite get there. It's a tough call. It is a tough call. And it's a call I'm going to leave up to you guys. Why don't you let me know in the comments? Should we go after Vasilevsky as a free agent and pick him up, bring him in? He'll be our number one. He'll be backed up by Binnington. We can offload Ullmark, bring in a backup for Remy Stallcup, have Stallcup begin to grow down there in the AHL. 4 years down the road, Vasilevsky will have 3 years left on his contract. I think he's 24 years old right now, if I recall correctly. Let's double check that. Yeah, Vasilevsky, 24. He wants a 7-year deal. So 4 years down the road, he'll be 28. He'll be in the prime of his playing ability. He'll have a nice high trade value. We'll be able to offload him for a bunch of picks in about maybe 3-4 years. That might be something we look at. What do you guys think? Should we go with Vasilevsky? Should we go with Binnington and just ride it out and try to bring in and build without giving up our draft picks for this year? Because we would be giving up the first, second, and third. Again, we don't have very many draft picks beyond that. Take a last look at what we have available this year in terms of draft picks. So if we look at our draft picks, we'd be giving up first, second, and third. We'd have a 5th, 6th, and a 7th. These are garbage picks. We're not going to be able to bring in anybody who's going to make a massive impact with these picks. So drafting and scouting this year would be pointless. I would literally just send out the scouts to prospect hunt for next year. And then the following year we have a full slate. We have a 1st through 7th. If we make the playoffs with Vasilevsky, then this round 1 pick is not a lottery pick. Round 2, round 3, these get real small. Might be worth it. If we make the playoffs, then these picks right here, they are bringing in kind of fewer and fewer. I don't know. You guys let me know. In the comments, you tell me, what should we do in terms of this year's free agents market? Should we go out and bring in Vasilevsky now? Have Binnington back him up for a few years? See if we can bring Stallcup up. Get him to back up Vasilevsky for 1 year. That wouldn't be a bad idea. And then replace Vasilevsky with Stallcup. Offload Vasilevsky with 2 years left on his contract to a real bad team. See if we can maybe get a lottery pick because they just missed the playoffs. That might be the route to go. Why don't you guys let me know what you think? And we will be back next time with the finalizing of our free agents. We will sim to preseason, and we'll get a good chunk of the next season done in the next episode. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a sense of where the team is heading. All right, thank you guys so much. I hope you got a sense for where the team is heading, and now the power is in your hands to help me make the decision about what our goalie situation will be moving forward, and we look forward to hearing about that. If you want to see us again playing live on Twitch, you can feel free to do that at The Final Knight Errant on Fridays, Saturday, and Sundays. We play all sorts of games, including NHL 19, and we hope to see you there. If you like this episode, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know when we put up our next one. All right, guys, that'll do it for this time. Thank you so much for watching. I'm The Final Knight Errant, and we'll catch you on the flip side.